you ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
All right, everybody. So I was driving home the other day from the gym and I got a phone call from Matt Gould. Matt Gould has been on the show. Matt Gould is a writer. He's an actor. He's a producer. He does everything. And he said, Robert, I discovered this amazing dancer and you need to have him on your show and then use your show as a way to get Matthew to do all of my projects. That's literally what he said. Matthew, you're booked. You don't even know it. Matthew Deloch is here and I'm so excited to talk to him about the art of dance and his career. So Matthew, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You're hired and you didn't even know.
I'm so booked and I have no idea.
You have no idea. Thank you so much for being here. I fell into a rabbit hole of all of your beautiful work.
Thank you.
So can you tell us a little bit, where are you from?
I'm from Louisiana, down south, born and raised.
Okay, Southern, the Southern hospitality of it all. And at what age and stage of your life did you realize that because I read an article about you, you were not always a dancer?
Not at all. Which is funny, I was talking about this with my friend yesterday because he asked like, oh, when did you like figure out that you wanted to do this for a living? Because I started dancing when I was 2, but hated it so much until I was like 10 or like 11. Like I just never liked it. My mom tried to put me in other things, but like my grandma was like, nope, he's gonna do dance. Like we're gonna just keep making that happen. And then when I turned like 11 or 12, like something just switched and I was like, wait, this is so fun. And when I turned like 15, I was like, I can't see myself doing anything else as a career. Like dance has to be it. So it was like 15, 16. I was like, okay, I'm going to go to college for dance. And then I'm just going to like go for it. And that's what happened.
And is that what happened? Did you go to college for dance?
Yeah, I went to Pace University here in New York City, 2017, and I graduated in 2021.
I'm so old. Oh my Lord. So I right. I graduated in 2021 too. So I Pace for Performing Arts and etc. is a legendary school. How was it and how important was it for you to learn the proper technique and the foundations for now your professional career?
In the beginning, like before, at first I didn't even want to go to college. My mom was like, oh, nope, you're definitely going to college. And I was like, okay, if I'm going to go to school, it's going to be dance. And I didn't really know what to expect or like what I was going to get out of it because I had the mindset I wanted to graduate high school and just start working. But I'm actually very thankful I went to college because there were so many things that I didn't know I needed to know that I got from that. And like we do a whole semester in LA. Like our junior year, we do an LA semester because the dance industry in LA, very different than the dance industry in New York City. So like we got to get a little bit of that side. We got to learn a lot about working on shows instead of just being in them because you need to have all of these like different things that like, because when people bring you on a show, they want someone obviously that's a great dancer performer, but like if they can put you on these other background tasks, like that makes you even more bookable, which I didn't know. So very thankful for Pace for giving me those small things that are very important to add on to like the dance training and because we dance, we act, we sang, we had classes dedicated to everything.
Right. So it's not just a one-trick pony. It's literally across.
Literally, like I thought I was just going in doing my ballet and jazz classes every day, but they were like, so you're gonna sing at 8:30, you have this class, you're gonna learn how to light a show, like just everything. Yeah.
That is amazing. So what is the ultimate goal as a dancer? Is it what kind of style? Is it individualized? Is it to be a part of a company? Is it theater? Like what is it all of it?
Well, of course, like I love all the different experiences because like and you never know what you're gonna expect, and all experiences in the dance industry are always so different and so fun. But I know like my goal or like where I want to end up or like what I'm working towards is I want to be just that big choreographer that's choreographing the Grammys, choreographing the Super Bowl halftime show. Like that's where my like heart is past performing, because performing isn't my first love. I think it's being on the backside, creating the pictures, putting it on camera, like doing all of that. That's what I want to do so bad.
That's amazing. That's refreshing too. No, we don't always have to be in front of the center stage. When you follow Matthew, you can follow him on Instagram, you can follow him on TikTok, you can follow him follow Matthew everywhere.
Follow.
So some of the highlights and moments, you've had some crazy moments in person and on stages and also virtually. Was this all intentional? You know, in this world, if you're an up and coming singer, actor, dancer, anything in performing arts, you have a meeting for representation. One of the first things they do is look at your social media. It's become a thing, if it's for good or bad. So what was the conscious choice, and was it on purpose, or did it happen as an accident? You know, you built this huge social media presence and following. How did that all happen?
Totally by like whole things by accident. But I will say, like, in the dance world, like growing up, because you do like dance conventions, dance competitions, all those things, and the dance community is very small. Everyone knows everyone. So I feel like by default, if you're in the dance community, you're always gonna have like a little like following there, like the 10Ks. Like I feel like everyone like has that because there's just like dancers follow dancers, and that's just like how that goes. But it was totally an accident because, as a lot of people, like, you download TikTok during quarantine, like that's how it went in 2020. And I downloaded it and I was like, yeah, I'm not posting on here. I'm just like watching the funny videos. And my friend was like, no, you should just like post like one video of you turning. And I was like, okay. And then I posted one and like it started getting a lot of traction. I was like, is this something people are interested in? Like, should I like start posting that kind of stuff? And that whole summer I like grew to like 250K, which was crazy at the time. I was like, oh my gosh, like, okay, I can like do something with this. But like that was just my TikTok following, like was growing to like 500K. And then I didn't really post on Instagram because, like, as a lot of people do, like went through a moment with social media, very negative. Like I didn't post on Instagram for like 8 months, like just completely dark. And then one day I was like, I've never posted an Instagram reel. Let me see what happens. And I posted one and like it just went crazy. I was like, so I can do the same thing here if I just stop like letting the bad things get to me and just post what I want to share with people and not care about all the other things. And then my Instagram just started growing from there, and it's all happening very quickly.
Yeah, and it's going to continue because you have talent and you're creative, and it's going to keep exploding. 500,000 TikTok followers and over 100,000 plus, and you have videos, Matthew, you have videos that have like 15 million views.
Like completely out of nowhere.
Like network television wants 15 million people to watch a television show with 15 million views of people watching. It's a little overwhelming, I'm sure, and it's a mind of its own. It's its own beast. So how do you like take a moment to stay in real life and not let, you know, like, what is the expression? Like not believe the hype, you know, like how do you continue to stay focused on the art and not the glitter of it all?
Well, because like I was saying in the beginning, like I never posted on TikTok. I didn't post on Instagram, blah, blah, blah. And now that I keep telling myself, like, I'm doing the same things because I always had these videos on my phone. I've like all of the stuff that people see, like half of it's from like forever ago. Like I always have all this content on my phone. So when I post it, I keep telling myself, like, I'm the same person whether I post it or not. Whether it's getting 5 million views or it's sitting in my camera roll, I'm the same person, and I'm just doing the dancing because that's what I enjoy to do. I just happen to put it on social media. That doesn't change anything. That doesn't make me better. That doesn't make me worse. That doesn't make this video great, this video bad. I am just posting it. So I just like keep telling myself that.
That's brilliant. Now listen, I come from musical theater. I can barely do a box step. So I could shuffle off to Buffalo. That's my move. So that's it. So what, as a dancer first in your multi-hyphenate, how does a dancer who's gone to school and is a professional dancer stay up to, you know, singers go to voice lessons, actors go to acting lessons. What is a dancer's routine? How do you stay in shape?
Oh, always going to class. So I'm here in New York City, so there's the studio, there's obviously Broadway Dance Center, there's steps, there's all of those classes, which I always get into. And now I'm actually teaching one of my own classes at BDC, which is so exciting. And I feel like the self-discipline, because once you're out of that college range and like you're making your own schedules and it's up to you, you realize that if you want to stay like where you are and keep growing, it's literally up to you. It's up to me to go to those classes, up to me to get in a workout class. It's up to me to keep my brain sharp, because like that's another muscle that we have to train, picking up choreography, remembering choreography, creating choreography. So I'm always like, 2 a.m. last night, I was creating choreo just because I like my brain was just stimulated, and I was like, well, I can't sleep, so I might as well get up and create. So it's just like keeping all of those different muscles sharp, because I feel like a lot of times people forget like the brain is a muscle, and you just like any other muscles, like you do leg day to grow your legs, you have to train that brain. And I feel like that's something that I've learned being out of school, because like at school I'm always in class, so I was always like having to learn stuff. And the first like 6 months after school, I wasn't like going to class because I didn't know how much I needed to like be on that same schedule. But now like I'm almost 2 years out, so I'm like, okay, I need to be in class at least like 5 times a week, like keeping everything like up to par so I can keep growing, because nobody wants a plateau. Mm-mm.
Absolutely. Same thing with anyone. A lot of students watch this show, and anyone that's out there, like leaving acting school, like to drop into classes and stay up to speed with it is important. And same with dance, same with music, all of it. And Broadway dance, you know, that it's a legendary dance studio. So if you are in New York, don't walk too far and go left into the strip club. Go into
Yeah.
different kind of dance. No shade, different kind of dance. Matthew, Maxfield Haynes is the other half of this show, and Maxfield has, you know, been a talk this year about the gender and sexuality and the role of dance. And there's a stigma, same with musical theater, about gender and different styles of dance. When you think of a ballet dancer, when you think of how important is it for you to kind of break the construct, there's a box and stereotype, and what can we as society, or what do we do to look at dance as an art form that is not lives inside of the box and stereotype that it seems to exist in society?
No, definitely. Because like before I started posting on social media and people see what I was doing, like the style of dance I was doing, people would see me, they're like, oh, he's a hip hopper. Or like if I say I dance, they're like, oh, you do hip hop. And I'm like, wait, no, I'm a dancer, period. I do hip hop, I do ballet, I do jazz, I do. So I feel like when you see a dancer, you don't need to say, oh, you are this kind of dancer. They already said they are a dancer, and that is the full title. You don't need to say, oh, okay, she's blonde and she's tiny, she must be a ballet dancer. That's not the case. And I feel like that's obviously starting to fade a lot more, which is really, really good. And I feel like it's opening more opportunities, because like for the first time a couple years ago, like a guy auditioned for the Rockettes, and I'm like, okay, this is the direction we need to be going in, and things like that. So I hope that like we keep going in this direction, because I feel like the opportunities could definitely be endless, and the diverse cast, when we don't put people in these boxes, it'll really open up to something beautiful.
Absolutely. I can't wait. I can't wait to see all the magic and all of the FOMO I have by not being able to dance and all of that that's happening. Look at some pictures we scoured. I mean, just like beautiful, beautiful form, lines, the whole thing.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm so jealous. Matthew, I'm 39. It's over. I can't plie. I'm not jumping that high anymore. My knees are tired. I'm just gonna watch and be in awe.
And it's funny enough you say that, because yesterday I was like, I'm in my mid-20s now, so like things are starting to slow down, and I'm like, wait, Matthew.
I had a good friend who was with the Dance Theater of Harlem and danced well into his almost 50 as a principal dancer. Like there is no age limits to whatever is meant.
On it.
No, none at all. So you have you started a podcast?
I literally, our first episode was last week. Like it just started, yes.
You started how did that come about? And what are you talking about? How do we find it? Tell us.
Yeah, so me and my best friend, Connor Kelly, he is also a professional dancer. We did like Radio City Christmas Spectacular together, like very amazing. And he's like my best friend, and we're always together. And anytime we're together, like in groups of other people, Connor and I just have like our own like language. Like, you know, when you're just like with your best friend and like you just have your own language. And everyone always from the outside, they're like, I wish you guys could just like listen to yourselves when you're talking to each other, because it's so funny. And then we'd always be like, oh, like, I wish there was someone to be a fly on the wall so we knew what it was like. So then we ended up making a podcast called the Fly on the Wall Pod. And we talk about, because we were like, should we keep it just dance? Because like, obviously both of our like audiences are dancers. And then I was like, I feel like obviously we're going to talk about dance, like that's in our blood. That's going to be literally probably in every episode. But I feel like I want people to also get to know us, because on Instagram, on TikTok, we're dancing, we're not talking that much. And there's this whole personality that people probably have made a personality for us because they don't really know what ours is. So like, this is a way like to get past that wall. Like, oh, this is what Matthew's really like, or oh, this is what Connor's really like. So we just talk about, like, for instance, yesterday, our episode was our ins and outs of 2023, which is a trend going on TikTok, like 10 things that are in, 10 things that are out for the year. Next week, we're doing an episode about conventions, like dance conventions and competitions, because that was a time. So yeah, we're just talking about a lot of different things.
Well, I'm sure we could go to your social media and you post about it. And if you want to find it and watch last week's episode, you want to know his ins and outs.
It's linked in my story right now, actually. But if you want to look on it on any social media, it's just the Fly on the Wall Pod, and it's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so you can find it in there as well.
So Mike, a lot when I talk to a real Renaissance artist such as yourself that can do a little bit of everything, and I call it a disease. That creativity is a disease. Like my brother is a prosecutor. He goes to work, he goes home, he eats beef stew, goes to bed, and then I'm here like the nut that's like, what's next? What can I make? You know, it never ends. We're always, our brain is just going. But when I walked into acting school the first day, the teacher said, artists are noble professions, and sometimes society does not allow it to be seen that way. You know, there's this mantra, like, you have to be the suffering artist, you don't have a real job. Why is art so powerful to you? What does it symbolize to you as in terms of society? Why are you proud to be an artist?
The thing about like any art style, it's dance, it can be painting, whatever it is, I feel like it's so personal to each person, obviously, because it's coming from you. And I think like people like to say like, oh, the dance world is oversaturated, or this is oversaturated, there's too many of, and I feel like there's genuinely a place for every single person, because there's no one or no two people that are the same. So I think I just love that even though there's so many dancers out there, I can still share what dance means to me on my socials or in a show or through my choreography. And it's specific to me, and I can share that with people, and there's no one doing that exact same thing. And then I can appreciate everybody else's specified art form, whether that's dance or singing or painting or whatever that is. And I think it shouldn't have the stigma of like that, like suffering artist. Like it's joyful. Like it's me. It's whoever the artist is. It's their insides. It's them pouring out what they feel. What they can't put into words, they put into their art.
Absolutely. Break your heart and make it art. That's literally, it's a piece of you. It's the vulnerability of it. That is what it's about. Matthew, I'm so excited to see what's ahead. Like, I want to see you dancing everywhere and choreographing everywhere. Let's go. I'm ready.
Me too. Fingers crossed, manifesting.
Yes. Let's manifest it. It's happening. It's going to happen. Everybody that's here, you know, the podcast, the videos, the social media, the whole journey, just jump onto Instagram or jump on to TikTok and follow Matthew and on his journey, because it's only just begun, because he's 13 seconds old and we are and we're not. So we're going to be living through you. Okay. And congratulations on amazing work already. And I'm so excited to see what's next.
Thank you so much.